Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Delight and Fright. I am Kat, and to my side is the lovely Luna. Give him a pageant wave, Luna.
Hello.
I love your little ducky. He's having a good time over there.
Oh yeah, he's bopping.
He's rather excited. I like it. And
Yeah.
below us, we have a very special guest with us, Josh Craighead, writer, director, actor, photographer, stunts, and editing of Stab Runtime, a ghost face fan film. So
Woo!
that's what we
Yeah.
are discussing today, along with all things horror and our love for horror in the community. So welcome, Josh. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Static even.
Awesome.
And how are you
Yeah.
guys today? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's it's Wednesday. One
Well,
day
day.
closer to I know,
Right.
one day closer to the weekend. So
I
pushing
literally
through.
feel. Oh yeah, very much the same over here.
So I met you, Josh, at Necronomicon. And you were quite the cosplay with your lovely ghost face lady. And as is proper etiquette, when you have a master, you speak with the master to see if you can address the submissive. So that was a lot of fun, and it was great seeing you guys. Do you go to a lot of conventions, and what are some of your favorites?
Well, I'm glad we left an impression. Yeah, we do. I mean, we're not like super frequent. Like it's kind of a money comes and goes, so it's kind of one of those things that when we can, we absolutely do. We love it. I'm a big cosplayer. She is too, and that's something that we go to Ren fairs as well, so it's definitely like a big hobby of ours, and we love to dress up whenever we can and get to in whatever convention we can, whether it's anime, horror, etc. um we I'd say we kind of go on and off. We probably go to like 2 to 3 cons a year.
Nice, nice. I prefer the more intimate ones like Necronomicon to like the crazy giant ones like MegaCon.
Yeah.
But of course, you can't quite. It's a different beast, so to say. You're not going to have your celebs and things like that. You're not going to have all your independent horror films and short films like your own to see. Did you submit to Spooky Empire's Horror Film Festival?
Not yet, actually. So I did submit to a horror fest. Yeah, it was like a horror form. Easy for me to say, horror film festival. It was in Milwaukee, actually, and it's just because I got on filmfreeway.com and I was just seeing like what's out there. Another thing is making a fan film. It's a little different than like a short film, and although like all the disclaimers in the credits, I'm not over here saying, oh yeah, I own the rights to the Ghostface mask or anything like that. There's still some festivals that will be a little bit more hesitant to accept a fan made film versus like something that's more original. So I haven't actually looked into that yet. The next one that was on my radar, Screams Tampa Bay. It's like a horror con and a film
Nice, nice.
festival. I think that one's coming up in May.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been hoping to submit to that.
awesome. So,
So
oh, go ahead, Luna.
I was gonna say the what I liked about your film there is the evolution of Ghostface. Every director brings a different vibe to how Ghostface moves and stalks. Um, how was your version of the killer? More was it more of a calculated strategist or a frantic, clumsy human? And how did you coach the performer in the Ghostface suit to be able to take that on?
Well, I was the performer in the Ghostface suit. This one thing with Runtime is so I have been kind of on a hiatus. I'm a former film school student, used to make short films all the time, and around 2017, I kind of just fell off of it. And this was me kind of like trying to get back into it, trying to test, like, see, one, can I still do this? I still got it, or is it something that I'm like, okay, I see why I gave this up. So coming back to it, like I didn't have there wasn't really a cast besides myself and my lovely lady to help out here and there. So I kind of had to just envision the scenes how I wanted them to be, and then do the logistics of how do I shoot this, how do I put myself on camera, in 2 different places at the same time. So There was a couple. I mean, I'm one of those, I don't know. My mind kind of works that having those kind of limits breeds creativity. So there's one scene in particular I'm really proud of is when my character goes up to the glass to like see what's on the porch, and then like in the reflection in the background, Ghostface finally rises up, in the kitchen, and he's like running towards him, and you see that in the reflection. Um, I don't know. I really was excited with how that shot turned out, and it was one of those things that when filming it, I'm like, okay, this will work, right? This will totally work, like envisioning. But when you actually cut it together and see it play out, it's like, yes, got it. Um, there's now on Ghostface in particular. There's one. It's kind of one of those things where that even though each killer that dons the cowl and the mask has their own unique kind of twist and flavor to it, there's still kind of a like similar spirit, I guess, if pun intended there, to each of them that kind of carries through. So I, and in a lot of ways, I guess I was mimicking that, which is in an ironic way is in the spirit of Ghostface, is that it is a copycat killer. So.
I kind of felt you kind of summoning Michael Myers with the
head
slow kind of head tilt. I was like, oh, that's nice.
Not the only
Ghostface. Make them wait for it,
Yeah.
So it seemed more like you were trying to go for a like a calculating strategist rather than frantic kills.
Yeah. There was like a mastermind element there. That he was always a step ahead, knew where everyone was going to be. So one thing is that there was sort of I don't know. I'll just assume people have seen this. It's been out since like December. So there's kind of a like almost supernatural element that I pushed further than like the Scream films, even though they kind of lean on it. It never quite breaks that grounded reality. Whereas mine, the big reveal at the end makes it like, wait, how is this even possible? I don't know. I felt like, I guess it was kind of like a risky move in terms of like, is this something that's, going to push the audience's belief of just like, okay, dude, no, this isn't even a screw, this isn't even fan film anymore. You're just making crap up. Or is this like, oh, I didn't see that coming. What? But at the same time, that's kind of also all I really had to work with. So, but yeah.
Well, what was it about this story that you felt this is what I want to use to jump back in the film genre?
That's a good question. So coming back into filmmaking, I guess there was always, I was kind of reflecting on my own like journey with it, which has always been short films, film festivals, stuff like that. And I guess like, the meta-ness of Scream kind of provided almost like a pedestal to talk about, like, okay, like to comment on, filmmaking from that direction, how there's, people like myself that are like trying to make short films, and sure, who wouldn't want to try to get a big budget, make a bigger movie and everything like that, but then like the practical issues of trying to go through that, and I guess I kind of wanted to comment on that a bit and just like, I don't know. I felt like Scream made a good platform to discuss like filmmaking inside of a horror film.
And I love that. You're able to make fun of yourself and have fun with it. And the ending line is just is epic with the reveal. A lot of fun. How long did it take you to shoot?
It took, so I had to kind of shoot it in different parts. It took 2 weekends, to put together, really just like 2 weekend days. Like, I think it was like, I did, the outdoor chase stuff first, actually, like everything once you open the door, go outside the staircase. That was shot the weekend before, and then the weekend after, I just had myself to film. So everything in that was shot by me, and there's a couple little mistakes in that too. Not to harp on it, but there's a couple times where I got the timing wrong with like talking on the phone with the Ghostface voice, and had little things that like bother me in hindsight. Like I slowed it down so that the lines would line up with each other. So that was actually, between the two, that was more challenging. I had more help with the first part, which was the outdoor, the chasing stuff, because my lovely lady was there to help, like angle the shots or even provide moving shots and stuff like that. The rest was like occasional, like, oh, I need to add, one little shot of like a knife coming around, or I need to add like one shot of like one point it zooms in on like a camera watching him. So there's little, composite shots here and there that were shot like probably the week after that, but they were minor, took like 10 seconds, and we've got the footage. We'll go ahead and use it.
Now, indie horror really relies on the unseen to save on budget. As you know, being an indie means the budget's a little rough, right?
Oh yeah.
So how did you manage to balance between showing gore and building the dread without the resources of a major studio?
That's actually something that I, in hindsight, also wanted to improve upon. I mean, yeah, there was some blood in it, but it was one of those things that when it's finally said and done, you're like, I wish I'd used more blood, or I wish I'd done a little bit more in this regard to that. That's one thing that I definitely wish I had more on hand, but I won't lie. We use things like, oh yeah, we've got, prop blood sitting around from Halloween, or, oh, I've still got this. I mean, the costume itself was my Halloween costume. So it was kind of a lot of repurposed things I already had, and then just like dressing him up with what we had on hand, which, it was, as you guys can probably see, it was filmed in my apartment, which I tried to lean into that with the whole meta storyline that, but yeah, it's one of those things where you kind of just use what you have available. And if you have some budget, you kind of have to be very particular about where you're investing it. Like, okay, like, what's the key feature? What can I get away with? Like going with something cheaper, or what do I have on hand versus something where it's like, if we don't have this in the movie, we don't really have the movie, For example, would be the Ghostface costume. Like if it was just me running around, it might come off a little different.
Just have a side Ghostface costume.
Yeah. Stick the paper to my face, like draw it on.
So, of all the jobs that you had for this film, what did you enjoy doing the most for this film, and what did you find the most challenging?
Definitely the most fun was being Ghostface. The knife wipes, the chasing, jumping out from nowhere, and stabbing. And it was. I think my favorite in particular though was the final scene where right before the reveal, where he is like walking up, he's like, why no one takes you seriously. That was it was a delight. Although on the other side of it, that's where the biggest challenge was. So it was you were asking about some of the challenges of indie filmmaking. So it was shot guerrilla style, and we're doing it outside of my apartment. And see, unlike outside there's potential neighbors, delivery people, what have you. And that did happen at one point. A dude was walking out of one of the apartments below us and taking his trash out, and there I'm all like covered in blood and everything. And I'm just like, oh no, dude, it's for TikTok. I'm fine. TikTok. He kind of rolled his eyes, was like, whatever. So no problem there, but that was kind of a challenge, was like the logistics of other people, and like 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 the part where I jump out when I reach the bottom of the stairs and Ghostface jumps out. That's like somebody's porch right there that I was like hiding behind, and like at first I was like all getting into character, like yeah, I'm ready to jump out, and then as I'm waiting for the shot and I'm like standing awkwardly in front of someone's porch, I feel like, okay, is this legal? Yeah. Other than that, though, I mean, it was obviously there are challenges, of course, like trying to the logistics, and then like practically trying to put myself in two places at once on screen. I took a lot of like thinking ahead on how to accomplish those shots, and then also acting in the moment when you're worried about like neighbors and stuff. Like the part where I'm bleeding out and dying, like that took a few shots, just because it was hard for me to like, I don't, I'm thinking I don't want to be loud. I don't want to like, upset the neighbors. And it's not like we filmed it at 3 a.m. or anything. It was shot at like, 9 or 10. So, roughly enough that's like, okay, most people probably aren't quite asleep yet, but I don't want to disturb anybody. I'm not out here trying to cause a ruckus. I try to respect people's,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, quite a few barriers to leap over to get this thing done, but.
So we all know the rules of the sequels, or the rules of the reboot. If you had to define the rules of Runtime, what would be the number one rule for your characters to survive?
And he didn't say, I'll be right back or any of those things. The number one rule of surviving one of my movies. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the number one rule to survive in Runtime in this movie.
I think it's be in the know. I think it's to be ahead of whatever the narrative is. To be being aware of what's happening, I think would go a long way. If instead of like being caught blindsided.
Awesome.
I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good. A lot of people lack awareness. And what should be common sense is no longer common. So we're seeing a lot of that lately. So
and I love the symbolism in it as well. We're all our own worst enemy. So
Yeah.
I love how you kind of play on that, and in that same view, what do you see as the future of indie horror?
Ooh, okay. So I think that it's interesting you asked that, because I think that's something that Runtime was almost trying to comment on about, like, okay, so you have all these, big budget horror movies, and don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking them. I'm a huge fan, but there's also a lot of interesting ideas out there. And I think horror is one genre where I think more indie films have been able to get elevated than other genres, perhaps. Like, I'm thinking like Terrifier, Saw, all these things that began as like low budget student films that kind of like, over time gained momentum. So I guess the concise answer is like horror in particular, I'd kind of expect to keep that, keep kind of being like that open genre, that it's like there's more potential for, indie filmmakers to kind of like make more of themselves out of, or make their project into something, more than what they're able to on their first attempt.
Are you optimistic for the future of indie horror, or are you more pessimistic? Glass half full or glass empty? Half empty.
All right. So at the risk of sounding naive, I'm going to say optimistic. In some ways, I know that we're kind of on the forefront of AI, but I like to. What my take on that tends to be is that a lot of people are aware of it, and I think a lot of people are able to detect it easily. And I think it's one of those things that if people really are trying to lean on, like, oh, I'm going to use basically, if I'm going to have AI make my movie for me, I think it's going to play out. It's going to read different than like, oh no, I actually shot this. This is actually a indie film. Not to go too deep into that. That's something I have played around with. Admittedly, it's not something that I would ever rely on. There's if you don't have, it's one thing to like use it to organize your ideas. It's another to have it create your ideas.
Well, so. I definitely agree with. I see horror as being a resurgence. Anytime a people or a culture in history has been restrained, as we're seeing in our own lives, horror has flourished. So I'm hoping that in that aspect that we'll see some great things to come with horror. And we have already seen a couple of really great things, but I think there's more to come.
I think so too. It's one of those things. I think a lot of people. Well, it's fun to be scared, right? And I think what scares people, I think, changes generationally. Maybe even every 10 years. It's a different vibe to each decade, really. And I think that horror kind of like it has like the fingers on the pulse of that, and kind of like finds and new creative ideas like kind of blossom from that.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about the fandom. The recent Scream films have touched heavily on fan entitlement. Do you think Stab leans into that commentary, or does it try to reclaim Stab as a love letter to the fans?
Ooh, so Runtime in particular, I think it kind of like sidelined that. And don't get me wrong, you're not. I think Scream 5 in particular, or five Cream, or the one with yeah. So I think that one in particular was really bringing that up. And Scream tends to be really. We were just talking about fingers on the pulse. Tends to be really like with whatever the current issue is, or whatever people are talking about. And I think like obviously that one really at its core was talking about like toxic fandom, and the way people can be influenced by things online to do terrible things in real life. At its core, that was kind of what it was leaning on. I don't think mine was. Runtime was more leaning on like filmmaking itself, and like how tough it is to try to put a message in a bottle and then put that bottle into a sea of messages in a bottle. you know, and have someone actually notice it. I think that's really more what it was talking about, which I don't know. In terms of like today's relevance, I wouldn't call it like necessarily a hot button issue, but I don't know. Maybe if it gives people some food for thought there.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So what is next for you, Josh? Or was this endeavor into filmmaking once again? Did it inspire you to go into it some more?
Well, I want to say the best is yet to come. Once I made Runtime, I definitely, and this was kind of an overarching goal behind the scenes here, is I had more people like come and talk to me saying like, "Oh, that's amazing," or "Are you doing another one? Can I be part of it?" And yeah, I did actually already announce that I am making not a sequel exactly, but more of like an anthology. One thing with I know it's so much to break down here. One thing with the stab movies I'm making is one of my rules is that if it's just like a film that's showcasing, oh, look how cool Ghostface is, then to me that's not worth making. If it's got a story to tell, or even if it's just, you know, something like fun or interesting or makes you think or subverts the audience expectations, I'm trying to really lean more into that. And I don't want to like corner myself as like, oh yeah, this guy, he just makes all the Ghostface movies. But I do have another one that I've been trying to cook up. It's actually unfortunately been delayed. There have been some personal things have gotten in the way. We were supposed to start filming like mid-March, but it's gotten pushed back, unfortunately. But I haven't given up on making it. We have all the props and everything. I've got 2 actresses that want to help me out on this. So yeah, there will be more, definitely. Another thing that I want my stand films to, I want them to stand out a little bit. I think a lot of people go when they, you know, Ghostface, the classic black coat, the white mask. And the company that makes those masks, there's a lot of variations of that. You know, there's one with devil horns, there's a scarecrow, there's all these different versions that are really cool. And I keep seeing, you know, comments online like, oh, dude, people should make like they should make this one in the movie, or they should do this one. And honestly, I'm part of me is trying to appease that. I do kind of want people to come check it out because it's like, oh, it's a different Ghostface. But that's, you know, that's the reason to come check it out, sure. But that's not what's going to keep them there.
Yeah. So if Wes Craven were to watch Stab Runtime, what is the one sequence you'd be most proud to show him?
It'd probably be the chase scene. You know, honestly, like the conversation. It's not that I think the dialogue was bad between, you know, Josh and Ghostface on the phone, but it was because of like it's one of those things that in hindsight I wish I had reshot it, you know, and timed it and pasted a little better. And it's one of those things that I'm already criticizing myself about. That if Wes were to see, I would be like, oh man, no, he's gonna think I'm such an amateur. But that maybe from the looking in the glass kitchen reflection scene and everything, I would love to show him that forward and just see what he thinks of my idea.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. So the one that would make you the most nervous is the chase scene, and then the kitchen scene is the one you'd be very proud to show him.
Yeah. No, the opening, I think,
Okay.
basically, I think Runtime's opener could have been, I don't know, a little more eye-catching or a little more involved or something. But given that I only had myself to work with, I did what I could. But I'm hoping, you know, sequels, I can be a little bit more creative, being more behind the camera instead of having to be on both sides of it. So,
Well, let us put you at ease, Josh. In our travels, we have seen a lot of indie micro-budget films, and your film, the sound is good, the acting is good, the special effects are good. So trust me, you did a good job for your first attempt by yourself, you know, film school or not, regardless of that, you know, with the technology that we have today, you did a good job. And in some cases, have you seen the new Scream? Have you seen Scream 7?
oh
It
yeah,
is a fucking nightmare. Like, oh my God, CGI blood? Why? Why? Okay.
I know.
Right, we gotta get back to the practical effects. I keep saying that.
Oh, I know.
Keep saying that.
It literally, we were just talking about that. Like, more blood is definitely one of the things I want for a sequel. Like, that was one of the things where it's like, yeah, you know, it's like I've had people say like, oh, that was actually really good, or I didn't see that coming, or it was actually really funny. And yeah, I've gotten, you know, that praise. But I guess maybe if anything, I'm my own harshest critic. Because like,
Yeah.
although like sure, at least the wound was there on the shoulder and stuff, but it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, this should have been so much more like gory and juicy
And I take notes every time I'm watching a film, and the only real note that I had was the second stabbing, there was no blood on the knife. So I was like,
I'll
okay.
be much more particular about that next time for sure. Actually, you know what?
Continuity.
Exactly. Very, very minor spoiler, but the next one. So I have multiple prop knives now. One of them is a bloody version of the knife, and then there's the regular one. So hopefully I'll satisfy your continuity craving in the next one. But very duly noted.
At least you weren't like Game of Thrones and had Starbucks on the set. I'm like, oh god, they have Starbucks in Westeros. That's pretty cool.
There is, if you actually, you can see it still there behind me. There is a little Pikachu on a keychain, and there's a hook on the door. I'm a big Dead by Daylight fan. And,
oh my god, you play Dead by Daylight?
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
I play it religiously.
Love that game. It's been a minute, but I have these like bouts where I get obsessed and play nothing else for like months, and then it's
yes.
But got that hook from Spirit last October, and then there's a Pikachu keychain hanging from it that made it into Runtime. It's in there, so there are little Easter eggs like that.
That's so fun. Yeah, I got acquainted with the company that makes the Ghostface mask because they're all in Dead by Daylight. The tongue out, the devil.
Okay, yeah. So you've seen them, yeah.
I've seen a lot of them in the game.
It's crazy. Those are all like I'm pretty sure for the most part, might be an exception too, but I'm pretty sure those are all masks you can actually buy that they've actually produced too. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what are some of your horror inspirations, Josh? What horror masters really made you go ooh ah in your younger days, and which do you hope to emulate?
I gotcha. I'm going to dial the clock way back for me. I was really, really into Resident Evil coming out of high school. Okay, the games are fantastic. Well, they're hit and miss. I really like the latest one that came out, 9, but was really into Resident Evil when I was younger, and the whole zombie thing. 28 Days Later. I graduated in 2009. If you want to, date me here. So a lot of zombie influence for me, especially when I was first going into film school. So I always kind of had always had like an interest in horror. As far as the Resident Evil movies go, by the way, not the animated ones, but like the live action Mila Jovovich, the first one is definitely the best. They get pretty unhinged as they go on, but and then from there, my taste matured. I really enjoy the Saw movies as well. I know that they can be a little cheesy sometimes. It's indie horror movie roots kind of show sometimes, but there's a lot of like brilliance behind it and like overarching plot. And I guess I like a movie that plays with my expectations and gives me like a surprise twist at the end. Not sure if it should be pretty obvious, but Scream, I think, is an influence here. Really like The Conjuring. I think The Conjuring was brilliant. I've had a few supernatural experiences in my life now and then. It's never been like the overt, like, oh, I saw something, but more of like that feeling of like in the corner of your eye, you thought you saw something move. You go to look and there's nothing there, and you're like, did I just, I feel like The Conjuring captured that really well, the first one especially. But they're really fun movies too. There's a lot of heart to those films as well, the Warrens. Oh gosh, I mean, if we're really going back, I loved The Mummy when I was a kid. I mean, it's horror, but it's also action adventure, But it's
who doesn't love, Brendan Fraser? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Heartthrob.
Definitely. But the Conjuring franchise for me was very scary. I actually, growing up, I lived in a paranormal house. So my uncle was a priest with the Catholic Church, and he had to come and do like have you ever seen an exorcism of a house being done?
Not in person. I mean,
it's a lot for a 9-year-old to have to see. So when I watch those movies, I kind of get a little bit of a flashback. I'm like, oh god, the walls. what are
Oh
you
no.
doing? It's like, I don't know, it's weird. And then it definitely all the religious undertones. If you grow up with that, it's definitely really freaky. So
Yeah,
yeah, those movies hit a little spot for me that I'm just like, it terrifies me because I've been there.
like relatable. I've had some weird experiences too. Like what my brother thought I pushed him down the stairs one time. He didn't trip. He just like I didn't even touch him. I never, But it was one of those things where like no, we there was this house that we lived in like in around 2013 that was like all kinds of weird stuff would like happen like that, and that we thought we'd see things, and it was just like an uncomfortable like presence over our shoulders like all the time. And I don't know, it's one of those things like in hindsight where it's like I can't like definitively say like were we just like were we like in our own heads about this, or was this like was there something that I don't know, but it was definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I don't know, a lot of like as far as like my sorry, I make it all about me, right? A lot. I guess some of my more influences with filmmaking. I mean, it wasn't ever necessarily limited to horror, but I think horror is just a genre that I just keep coming back to, and I think it's just because it can encompass so many other things. It can blend into other genres. Army of Darkness, comedy horror, for example. I don't know. It's one of those things that like you can weave horror into just about anything, and I love that versatility about it, and I love trying to play with that. And I don't know. I want to when I'm making a movie, I don't want to just like be like, okay, we put something together, see what people think. It's like, no, I'm hoping that something that is going to give people pause or think about something, or keep them questioning or guessing, and not necessarily just like a popcorn movie where it's like, oh, that was cool, it's an explosion. I don't know.
Explosion.
Yeah, it's gotta have layers, right?
Yeah. You don't want a explosion like Transformers director?
Yeah, no, Michael Bay, I am not, I'm afraid.
What? Why not? Explosions are cool.
And hot babes. We did the hot babes.
Hot babes and explosions.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, I got a couple actresses for the sequel, so.
Yeah.
Oh, hot babes are coming.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah.
Can we expect some TNA? Some TNA? We're all about the TNA here.
Oh yeah.
We're pro TNA.
All right, we'll talk about that. So that was one of the things I wanted with the sequel is that, I mean, okay, Ghostface always has like the tall imposing silhouette, and I'm 6'5". It's not hard for me to fill that, but I wanted to try something a little different and see if we could like do like the sexy angle, not revealing, mind you, but the silhouette, the curvaceous silhouette of a woman as Ghostface. I wanted to kind of like, well, I don't know. I wanted to see, like, how that looks on camera, and if that can still, the kind of like femme fatale, I guess you could say, like Ghostface, and lean into that a little bit more. So yeah, I've got some creative ideas for the sequel. I don't want to go too far in case
in case you change your mind or someone comes and steals your idea.
Exactly. Yeah. Hashtag do not steal.
We're like the TNT and TNA. Let's blow up and have big titties and stuff.
Heard. We're gonna have explosions and ass and titties in the next.
Yes.
I become that kind of filmmaker. Oh.
Why not? The world is your oyster.
Give them what they want. You do one for the money and one for you. One for the money.
The director's cut. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a selling strategy for you. You make one for the money, you get a lot of money, and then you play, and then you have fun, and then you film what you want,
what you really
and
want.
rinse and repeat.
It's important to have goals.
Definitely. So let me see. Oh yes. The last question that I had that I think is very important as a filming director. Also you acted, but what's the was there a specific scene during filming where you kind of looked at the monitor, or as you were acting you went, aha, this is it, this is exactly what I wanted in a horror movie?
I'm gonna go back to it. It's the one where it's the one where I'm looking at the porch and then the reflection in the glass and everything. Like that was the aha moment for me, because there were so many factors involved. Like, one, can I take these two clips and like put them together to look like one shot? Can I successfully hide Ghostface, where like the people aren't just gonna obviously see him as my character's looking in the window? And is the reflection bright enough to even capture all this? Is it gonna be like distorted or something? And so when I got the angle and everything lined up, I was just like, oh, I can do this. It's amazing. Like, it was all just theoretical until I started shooting, and then it was like, so I was, yeah, I was pretty, that was probably my aha moment for sure.
Nice. I'm glad you got to experience that.
Oh yeah.
So what did you learn, Josh, in this endeavor into filmmaking? What are your key takeaways?
It helps to have a cast and crew. I think is probably the biggest lesson of Runtime. Was I'm glad I made it, but if I had people to help, it would have probably gone a lot more smoothly. So definitely one of those things that I want to branch out and like find a group again. Other like-minded people that be interested in this kind of thing. And
Luna and I are always willing to be your victims.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We love to get all gory.
Yeah, sure.
I'll keep that in mind.
If you need a cameo, a Delight in Fright cameo,
I might take you up on that. Actually, that'd be very meta, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Not only that, I am certified. I do have an acting degree, so.
Oh, see, film school dropout. I took some acting lessons, but like I don't know. I feel like my best work is behind the camera, not in front of it. I guess you could think of me as like a white boy M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I don't know. Like I don't mind like stepping in for scenes and being involved.
Don't put yourself in that corner where everything has to have a goddamn
yeah,
twist.
You're right. I shouldn't.
Don't do it.
No. Don't.
Hey, Juan. Good to see you.
So yeah, I think that I hope with more projects in the future, I'm going to spend. Well, I've got two things. One, although I'm not done with Stab, I'm not done with Ghostface. I have some more work there that I want to bring out, but I have some more like original ideas that are not fan films. They're just a horror short in and of itself. I really want to like develop and work on. But I think that, and what I'm hoping is that with the Stab movies, that's going to bring in cast and crew, and then. I can start like having a group that we all help each other out with our ideas and stuff, and build from there.
Well, definitely, that's what we love to do here at Delight and Fright. We love to make those connections. So definitely follow us, and we always try to promote people. And if people are looking for help, definitely they post, and then we try to get everyone connected. So what is one of your favorite cosplays? I saw Gerald, which is a great cosplay, and obviously Ghostface is one of your favorites. So what is your favorite cosplay?
Depends on the weather. It depends on if it's an indoor and outdoor venue.
You have a good point.
I one time wore a full suit of metal armor to a Renaissance fair, and now don't get me wrong, it was badass. It was I felt like a total like champion night where it was a cool experience, but I was tripping on my own sabatons. Those are like the little spiked feet things. I was like tripping on myself because it's a Ren fair. I was drinking. I was so uncomfortably sweaty to wear. I was like basically cooking myself in a body oven. I think there was at one point that like the neck plate like singed me. It got so hot and I had to take it off. Oh, it was a miserable experience, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go pirate with this instead. And I've been, it's linens, cottons, Wayfarer type shirts and stuff, and much more comfortable. So that didn't exactly answer your question though. But
no, I think you're good. That makes total sense. That's where I am at my age. I'm like, what's the weather like? What do I have to do today? Am I going to go comfort versus full Elvira garb? Like, yeah.
The answer is definitely full Elvira for me. That's my vote.
Thank you. Yeah. So, Gerald versus Ghostface, who would win?
Ooh, I'm gonna give. I think Gerald's got the edge here. It's In general, I think Ghostface is more of a ambush, sneak up tactic. His whole advantage is you don't see him coming, whereas Geralt is very highly trained with a blade. He's got extra senses where he can, detect things
It
easier.
doesn't matter how many ghost faces there are; he's going to get them all.
Yeah. Sword spinning. They're going to be. It'd be a joke. It'd be laughable, unfortunately. But favorite cosplays I've done. I've also done Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, okay, we got a fan. I'm actually working on the new Timu Wesker, they call him Xeno from Resident Evil 9. I'm putting that together.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. The best cosplay that I've seen personally was a Pyramid Head cosplay.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah, some Silent Hill vibes going on.
Nice.
I love when I see Pyramid Head cosplays because all the work that has to go into making all the headpiece and everything else is just impressive. And the big ass sword too. Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit, I'm a bigger fan of the nurses, but
Yeah,
Oh
they
yeah.
creep me out. They creep me out though. The way they move, I'm like, ah.
I don't know. I feel distracted whenever I see them.
You're like, take me to Valhalla with the boobies.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, put me in the gurney. Wheel me
Put
away.
me in the gurney. Nice.
So what is one of your favorite experiences meeting a celeb?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So, MetroCon, I met Jonathan Young and Caleb Hiles. They do a lot of like metal covers and stuff on YouTube. Not sure if you're familiar. Okay. That was really cool. I kind of fanboyed out. Actually, I just went to Scaradice, and I don't know what came over me, but I saw Jack Quaid there, and I'm in full Ghostface costume. And I promise I was not actually trying to act. I think I was just really hungry and maybe a little dehydrated that day. And I finally see him in my Ghostface mask, and I just stop and like stare for a little too long. And my wife finally grabs me and is like, "Honey, okay, I think we need to go." And I was just like, "Wait, whoa, what was I doing?" Like I don't know. I just stopped and stared at him. And
Did he stare back?
no, he was like signing autographs and was super distracted. But I bet if I had lingered there like 5 more seconds, I might have got some attention.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. Like, so you're a fan of Scream, huh, dude? Okay, I know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Jack seems like a cool dude.
He's super chill.
And how about you, Luna? What is one of your favorite experiences?
Meeting a celebrity?
Mm-hmm.
I there's so many good ones, but one that I love just because of I'm a volunteer. Well, I was a volunteer at the shelter at the time, so volunteering, whatever. I used to volunteer at a pug rescue in LA. Well, lo and behold, Clint Eastwood walks in with his ex-wife, and they were there to pick up a pug for his daughter. And yeah, and he was pretty cool. He gave a very large donation, obviously, because you know how rescues work. You pay a fee or whatever to adopt a dog, and it's way higher than a shelter. But he gave a large ass donation, undisclosed amount, of course. And yeah, he was super chill. Played with the pugs, and the pug that he took home was they named her Harley. So
Nice.
you'll
Nice.
you'll see Harley. I don't know if he still has her because the story is from like gosh, like almost 10 years ago when he came and adopted her. So pug life expectancy isn't the greatest, but yeah, he took
Aww.
little Harley home, and he was such a cool dude. Like
I'm
he
imagining him like strolling on in, doing his squint, with like a cigar hanging out, like looking for the
Did
pug.
he walk off into the sunset with his pug?
with the pug,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, it was one of those
Spurs and everything on
moments.
the boots.
Yeah, that's one thing that kind of doesn't phase you when you live in LA. I mean, I lived there for 20 years and you'll see celebrities just walking about. They'll go to the same stores, or if you're working at a animal shelter, they'll walk right in, adopt a dog. So I think that's the beautiful thing, is you get to see them in a non Hollywood, because in Hollywood you got to put on a mask. You got to,
Yeah.
paparazzi, you got to be glimmer and glitz and glamour. Nobody in the shelter. There's not going to be any paparazzi there. It's just the fucking dogs. Like, what are they going to do? They're not going to be like, ooh, let me take some selfies,
I think that's my
So,
favorite part of People magazine is like celebs doing normal stuff. Like here they are shopping.
I bet people would pay for that too. Like,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. I ran across, oh my God. So, another quick story. I ran into Snoop Dogg at was it Ralph's in Diamond Bar? And he was there getting some ice cream or something for his nephew. And he was probably high as shit, because come on, like it was like 11 p.m. at night, and he was gonna go get ice cream at a fucking grocery store in Diamond Bar. So yeah, he must have been pretty fucking high, but
Nice.
that's Snoop Dogg all the time. But he was super cool. We were like, hey man, how's it going? What's up? And he was like, he did the whole like thing that he does, just the head bop, the high, I'm high as fuck head bop. I know you're there, and I'm just kind of really high to do anything. And you have to like respect the boundaries too, because you don't want to be like, oh my god, because it's like, bro,
They're like, run away.
calm down.
you got to keep the holy shit factor like under control.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Play it cool.
Yeah,
For me, it was Jeffrey Combs of Reanimator. Yeah, I went and got a photo shoot with him, and of course, at the photo shoots, they're like, quick, and I was one of the last ones, and you could tell he wanted to take his time because I was in full Elvira garb, and he's like just the right height, so he was like. And I was like, hey, Bone Daddy. And afterwards, he was like, he kept seeing me going, give me a little wave. I was like, hi. It's like, hey, darling. So that was my enjoyment with a celebrity.
Yeah, no, that it's so interesting to catch them when they don't have a mask on, when they're not doing a red carpet event or actually actively filming, when they're just doing
Just going about
a
their life.
con or going about life. It's a different vibe, definitely. But yeah, no, you would definitely expect Clint Eastwood to be a dick. No, quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. He was such a sweet dude, and apparently he loves dogs. He loves pugs. So, yep.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Absolutely.
So tell our fans, Josh, where they can find your film and share your socials with everyone so we know where to find you.
Almost skipped my mind. The Practical Phantom. It's the same on YouTube and Instagram. There's a green ghost face mask with a green knife. Can't miss it. Practical Phantom. Look me up. Reach out. Actually, if you're somewhere near Florida and you want to get involved with one of these, reach out to me. I'm definitely looking for people that are like-minded and want to help out or want help with their own ideas. Looking to connect. So.
Right. Sometimes it takes a village.
Yeah. or one very worn out guy trying to drive himself solo filmmaking. Yeah.
One dude caught in his apartment playing with himself.
Yeah, there you go. That's what people want to see for sure. That's why my film is 12,000 views. Okay. definitely get the actresses next time, like we said. Get an audience that way.
So just for our viewers, so they know, this is it right here, the Practical Phantom. So you'll be able to see all the awesome stuff that he has. Please, it said it was released
December, I think.
few, yeah, so a few things going on here. Just check it out and
Sexiness.
Yeah. I put my
sexiness. Wait,
my
whoa.
put my
What we have here? I don't
That's
know.
The Witcher.
Nice. See, you guys can look at all this amazing stuff that he's doing over there at the practical phantom. So check it out. Give
And
him
don't
some
forget,
love.
guys, to subscribe to Delight and Fright as well. We're doing our subscription drive in which Elvira donated an autograph photo to us. So the winner will receive that from us. And to be entered, you just have to subscribe, and anywhere in the comments, just put your email so we know how to find you.
Good stuff.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well,
So
guys,
thank you so much, Josh, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you and getting to know all about Runtime.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you for having me. This was actually the first time I've done one of these, so I really appreciate you bringing me up.
Oh, so you're a virgin no longer.
Yeah, I just lost my interview virginity.
Woo! The first of many. I will drink to that. The first of many. This is the start.
I should have brought a
start.
drink in. I was like going in like not sure. It's like, okay, can I have a drink while I'm doing this? It wasn't like under. And then I saw that my cat was. I'm like, oh, damn it. It's okay. I know what I'm doing.
We'll get you next time. We'll make a drinking game of it.
Next time we'll have cocktail hour with Josh, and we'll talk all about your next project. I love that idea.
I'll make it just for you two. Now I'm inspired.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Well, we are going to definitely show you how we say goodbye here at Delayed Fright.
I'm in for it.
We are both huge Cthulhu fans. Huge. So we have to pay homage to the tentacle, the old god. So we have to say goodbye like this. Goodbye with some tentacle action.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys. It's been such a treat to speak with you both this evening. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Good night.
Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kusier, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to thank you for listening to Delight and Fright with your hosts, Luna and Cat, a podcast for outcasts.